Hello. 15 months ago, you sent me to Albany to get New York State back on track, to make the New York government work, and to make the government work for the people. I pledged to restore performance, integrity, and pride to state government. After decades of dysfunction, ineffectiveness, and partisan gridlock, last year Albany put politics aside. We came together and we made government work. Last year we passed the first on-time balanced budget in years, the first ever property tax cap, marriage equality, ethics reform, and the lowest middle-class tax rate in 58 years. And this year, we are already off to a great start. We just passed a legislative agenda that will continue the transformation of our state. Albany took a giant step forward on 5 separate major issues, all of critical importance to the future of our state. And I want you to know about them. First, we will continue to get our fiscal house in order and attract businesses to our state because it's all about jobs, jobs, jobs. We will finally reform our expensive public pension system and save taxpayers billions of dollars over the next 30 years. For the past decade, pension costs have been spiraling out of control. Cities across our state simply cannot afford these skyrocketing costs. This plan delivers affordable, secure, and fair retirements without bankrupting our localities. Our plan will only apply to future hires, not to current employees. Without pension reform, we would have seen exponential tax increases and layoffs to teachers, firefighters, and police. It would have been bad for everyone. Second, we made New York State safer. We will be the first state in the nation to have a complete DNA Databank. With this legislation in place, New York will become the first state in the nation to collect all DNA samples from all convicted felons. This will not only help us solve crime, it will also help us prevent crime and exonerate the wrongly convicted. We ended 10 years of gridlock to get this done. Today is a big victory for the countless New Yorkers who were victimized by repeat offenders who should have been locked up a long time ago. Third, we are focusing on the future by making New York a national leader in education reform with a real and meaningful teacher evaluation system. Because it's not just how much money government spends, it's how government spends that money, what the results are. For the first time ever, we are linking teacher evaluations to student achievement, giving schools and families a fair and accurate measure of performance. We will now know what teachers, schools, and districts are working well and which ones need assistance. And we will be at the forefront of the education reform nationwide, right where we belong. Fourth, we finally made real reform to the broken process of legislative redistricting. What has happened every 10 years for the history of our state will never happen again. We agreed to pass a constitutional amendment and legal statute that will bring permanent reform to the redistricting process. We know that allowing legislators to redraw their own lines is in the best interest of only one group of people, the legislators themselves. Unfortunately, decade after decade, we saw the same bad movie play out. People complained that it was unfair. They vowed to make reforms, and ultimately the legislators drew their own district lines once again. And it was all legal, provided for in our Constitution. If I had vetoed the lines this year, as some suggested, a court would have drawn them, and from past experience, I believe the lines would have been substantially the same. That means we would have accomplished nothing. Furthermore, to the extent there are any illegal aspects in these lines, they will be struck down by a court. Thankfully, we will never have to watch that same bad movie again, because we fundamentally have reformed the process once and for all. We've passed a constitutional amendment that will create an independent and bipartisan panel to draw district lines and ensure a fair and objective process that is in the best interest of all New Yorkers. Real meaningful change and a new process for the first time in our history. Finally, we are continuing to create jobs and grow every region of New York through smart and serious economic development. Part of our plan is recognizing the economic potential of legitimate casinos. New York already has close to 30,000 electronic gaming machines, more than Atlantic City. We just have not recognized, regulated, or taxed them properly. We will amend the Constitution to make gaming legal, safe, and profitable. My friends, change is never easy, but today we have shown that it is possible. Once again, we are putting the voices of the people ahead of the demands of the special interests. The government works for the people. That's the way it should be. This represents a major step for this state, but our work is far from finished. In the coming days, we will continue to negotiate next year's budget. We'll continue to put people ahead of politics. And I will continue to ensure that your voice is heard in Albany, because without your input, real change isn't just hard, it simply can't happen. I want to take this opportunity to applaud Senate Leader Dean Skelos and Assembly Speaker Sheldon Silver for their leadership and accomplishments over the past 15 months. Their legislative accomplishments have been extraordinary. I also want to applaud the individual Assembly members and senators who put their politics aside for the good of the state. This year, we didn't operate as Democrats or Republicans. We operated as New Yorkers first, and it worked. Together we have, and together we will, make this state a better state for your family and for mine. Thank you for allowing me to serve you. I work to earn your trust and confidence every day. Thank you.